Hello guys, today we're gonna make homemade gnocchi. So we're gonna take our roasted potatoes and first wash it carefully. Then we take a fork and put some insertions in it so that it can cook faster in the oven. So we make a few insertions. Then better is with rock salt. If you don't have rock salt, you can also use normal salt. So we take a baking tray and just put some salt on it. Normally in the restaurants we make salt bed, so we make a lot of gnocchi, so you use a lot of salt, but this is only for one, so just put it on top and we're gonna bake it in the oven for about 40-45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. So it's already done. So either you can just scoop the layer out or you can cut in the middle and then scoop it with the spoon. So you can do that with ricer, but I don't have ricer at home, so I use normal sieve, and I'm gonna take it all out in there, and then I will just pass it through the sieve through a scraper. If you don't have that, you can buy it on Amazon or any another store. So just pass it out. And later we're gonna season it more. We just put it a bit salt outside, so inside you don't have much salt. So here we have our potatoes ready. I'm gonna take it out in a clean surface or a board. I use board because it's more clean than using a surface. So after this, so it's quite hot, so it's better when it's hot to make the dough. We add some salt. Then you have to add egg yolks. Normally you need 1 or 2 egg yolks. Since I had some extra left, so I put like 3 in it. If you don't want to use egg yolk, it's totally fine if you are vegan or something. So it's just for the texture. You can use something else for that as well, but basically you don't really need an egg yolk. It's just for the texture of the dough. So we're gonna carefully combine it all together. So basically you don't need to knead it like another bread dough or any other normal dough or flatbread dough. It's just mixing it all together. Then we're gonna use some flour. So basically there is no certain recipe for gnocchi because you have to feel it. So gently combine all together, careful. You will know when the dough is ready when you see it's not sticking down the board. So you're gonna just collect from the bottom. Add more flour as much as you need. It's better to use more flour than less flour, otherwise it will stick. And if you put it in boiling water, it will just lose the shape. So it's better to use flour more, so it's more compatible and you can shape the dough. So I think the dough is ready to use. So after that, carefully just put some flour in your scraper so it doesn't stick. I'm gonna divide the dough and just make one part of the dough first and later another part. So we need a fork for shaping the gnocchis. Either it depends on if you don't want to shape, you don't have to shape it. It's just basically just a look wise, it just looks much better. Divide more dough, flour it and just roll it out. Just roll it thinly out like a cylindrical shape, and then we try to cut it and make as equal as possible. So after portioning more, we're gonna make a circle out of it, small balls. So after we are done doing this balls, we're gonna shape it through the fork. So it doesn't have to be really equal, all the shapes. If it's equal, it's okay. If it's not, then it's also okay. it's not a big deal if you just have like 1 gram extra or something. So after this, we're gonna take more flour. I know, it's a lot of flour in here. So, gonna take a baking sheet or any other tray if you have. Take a parchment paper and slightly flour it down so it doesn't stick the bottom. Because once I did, it got stuck. So, duly noted. Put flour on the parchment paper. Then you're gonna take a fork. Press it a bit and then just gently roll it down. And there you go. It's so simple to make at home, really. It's better than buying outside or some other stores, or it's really expensive outside. And this, you just made it from 1 potato. And you can have at least for like 3 or 4 people can eat out of it. So it's really easy to make, just gently press it and roll it down. More flour if needed. Then when it's ready, you're just gonna gently flour a bit more. So either you can use it directly or you can just freeze it, so it's basically separately frozen individually so it doesn't stick. Then I'm gonna make some delicious gnocchi. With that, I'm gonna make some bell peppers. Take any peppers you want. I'm just gonna cut it and then just gonna keep it aside. You can use any vegetable you want, you can use any meat you want with it, it totally depends on you. So basically, I'm gonna start making it. So I have some boiled water to the pot, add some salt. So it's really important to salt the water because gnocchi don't have as much salt in it. So the water will help the starch to stick and so the gnocchi can have proper salt in it. Then I'm gonna take a pan, add some olive oil. I'm gonna just stir fry the veggies. You can use absolutely anything. It's a blank canvas, so you can just, it's in paint it, put some colors or something like that. So here you have some tomato sauce. I made it before one day. It's just tomatoes and sugar and salt. Since it's thick, I'm gonna use some salty water to make it a bit watery. Since you're saying the water is coming to a boil, then I'm gonna put some basil, freshly grown basil out of the garden. Add some in it. Basil and tomatoes are delicious together. So just put anything you want in it. Just feel it. Then I'm gonna add some gnocchis in it. So it's important the water comes to the boil. So you're just gonna boil the gnocchis for about 3 minutes, 2.5 to 3 minutes. That's it, what you need. So it's coming to boil, it's about 3 minutes. I'm just gonna put in tomato sauce and just stir it. Get all the tomato sauce on top of it so it sticks. So that's the part of starchy. When you have starch in it, the tomato sauce sticks to the starch. So basically it's ready. Now I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese. If you have, it's good when if you have it. If don't, then doesn't need it. But if you have it, it's great. Now I picked some herbs from my garden out there. So I have several herbs. I have some flowers, I have some brown fennel. I have some carrot tops. I have some fennel seeds, fennel flowers. Basically it's really delicious with herbs. It's like a game changer. I'm just gonna put some herbs on top. All around it. So it's like a fancy gnocchi in the restaurant. At home, basically. So you can also add some olive oil on top if you want. So that's it's done. Bon appetit!